The Tax Justice South Africa is calling on the Fair Trade Independent Tobacco Association to take action against the Gold Leaf Tobacco Corporation. Now, it's accusing it of selling cigarettes through the internet to private customers without checking whether they are above the legal age of 18. Well, let's get some reaction. We're joined by Sinenhlanhla Mnguni. He's from the Fair Trade Independent Tobacco Association, that is FITA. Sinenhlanhla, a very good morning to you, and thanks for your time this morning. Now, following the statement put out by Tax Justice South Africa, you've released a statement this morning where you deny this claim. Just give us your side of the story.
Good morning, Rebecca. Thank you for having me on your show. Look, I mean, we looked into the statement by Tax Justice South Africa, and it's really something which we do not know where it comes from. I mean, it's a very sort of bold statement, but when you delve into the allegations they make, I mean, the first one is that cigarettes are being sold to minors without any sort of verification. I mean, the first screen that you come across when you go onto that particular website is that check to ensure that people who go onto that platform are of the correct age. So again, we do not know why this particular organization seems hell-bent on targeting one of our members. And I mean, there are many people within the tobacco industry who have been accused of all sorts of allegations and shenanigans, and yet they've been silent on this, and they seem to be concerned with just one particular manufacturer. And one has to ask themselves whether this has anything to do with the fact that this particular manufacturer is gaining quite substantial ground in as far as the market is concerned.
Well, Sinenhlanhla, just a very quick question on that. When it comes to online sales, and you say there is a check to verify, or you know, somebody can reveal how old they are. How do you verify that online? I mean, what proof do you ask for anybody? As we know, if you go online, it's easy to just sort of represent yourself as somebody else.
Of course, I mean, it's a difficult mechanism to implement. I mean, and this goes beyond just the sale of cigarettes in this regard. This goes in as far as the sale of alcohol and many other products which are sold to people over the age. So I do accept that perhaps something more could be done in as far as this is concerned. But again, the particular member concerned has taken the steps they feel were necessary to try and, you know, ascertain the age of people that do go onto its platform. And of course, it's an honesty-based system. But again, as we stated in our statement, we will be sitting with that particular member concerned to see whether there are ways which we can improve the methods in which they go about ascertaining the ages of the people that go onto that particular platform.
So you can't say for sure that cigarettes are not being sold to anyone under 18. You can't say with 100% certainty then?
Look, it hasn't been brought to our attention that anyone over under the age of 18 has bought cigarettes. And of course, if that is the case, we will deal with that. And like I said, we will be sitting with that particular member to ensure that cigarettes are not sold to minors and to ensure that there are better checks and balances in place. But I don't think, even if that were the case, I don't think that the particular member has intentionally gone about trying to sell cigarettes to minors. That's not the case. And I mean, again, like I stated, then we can go on to other platforms where liquor is sold, where other content which is meant to be consumed by people over the age of 18 is concerned, and investigate whether those people have taken all steps necessary to ensure that their products aren't consumed by minors.
Well, that's just one of their claims in Atlanta. The other thing is they did a test, and Tjsa says brands made by Gold Leaf, including Voyager, RG and Sharp, accounted for more than a quarter of all cigarettes bought on the black market during the 144-day lockdown sales ban. They also say that this company is now accepting orders from private individuals on the online sales on that site as well, which prohibits a sale or offer of sale of tobacco products through the internet. Now, the founder, Yusuf Abramji, says in less than a minute on the internet, they were able to register online as a trade partner with Gold Leaf without any checks or verification of their identity, age or status. So I'd really like to know, you know, how is it that you can say for sure that those things are not happening? He seems to have tested the system, and this is what has happened.
Look, we've called on Mr. Abramji to forward us with the relevant information. But again, as we state, the intention of this platform was to allow smaller entrepreneurs the platform to sell cigarettes. And again, we find that this is nothing more than a way to stifle people who have seen the lucrativeness of the sale of cigarettes and who have previously been prevented from entering this particular trade. And what our particular member has attempted to do in implementing this particular platform is to try and assist people. We've received a multitude of queries from the public at large as to how they can, enter the cigarette trade. And of course, this is problematic to some within the industry because they want to continue maintaining their traditional stronghold on the market. And again, we do not agree with what Tjsa South Africa is stating, in as far as stating that it is relatively easy for one to buy. I mean, the intention of our member in this regard is not to flout any form of regulations or legislation, and it is with the intention of empowering South Africans who have expressed an interest in entering this particular market, which is traditionally a very tough market to break into.
But be that as it may, and like you say, it's not the intention. We don't, it's very difficult to say, and you seem quite convinced that they have the best of intentions. Will you be doing your own investigation into how they run their business then?
Of course, as I stated in our press release, we will be sitting down with the manufacturer. I think, of course, with any sort of system or platform that you introduce, there may initially be some teething problems. But again, it's not what Tax Justice South Africa seems to want to create the impression that this particular member is intentionally flouting the provisions of the Tobacco Products Control Act. That's not the case at all. And where we can assist our member in ensuring that they rectify any sort of issues in as far as this platform, we will be doing so. And I think that's where it ends. I mean, this is not something where, you can sort of ascribe criminal conduct to this particular manufacturer, as Tax Justice South Africa seems to want to do. And I think it's really nothing more than an issue of people having an issue with one member of the tobacco industry gaining some form of market share.
But, I mean, why would a TJSA be particularly concerned about that, just from your side? I mean, what do they have to gain by outing someone?
Look, again, we do not understand why they seem to be hell-bent on attacking one particular manufacturer. As I stated previously, there are many other players within the tobacco industry who have also had allegations pointed towards them, but Tax Justice South Africa seems to turn a blind eye towards them. I mean, we look at a multinational cigarette manufacturer who is alleged to owe the revenue service in excess of 2 billion rand, and this has even been stated categorically in their prospectus. And there seems to be no intention from Tax Justice to want to direct its efforts towards this particular manufacturer. And again, of course, we know that one of the role players in Tax Justice South Africa, Mr. Abramji himself, was previously aligned to a multinational in a campaign known as the Take Back the Tax campaign. So we do not know if perhaps he is furthering those interests. And again, we call upon Mr. Abramji to take us into his confidence in as far as what his intentions are with Tax Justice South Africa and why it seems that only some within the industry are being targeted and not all players across the board.
So, Natasha, very, very quickly before I let you go, they are concerned or suggesting that GoLeaf is not paying due taxes. They say online customers can buy single cartons for as little as 22 Rand 50 per pack, including nationwide delivery. And they say this suggests that the company is not paying due taxes of 20 Rand 35 per pack. Will you be looking into that, or can you answer for them?
Look, I mean, when one looks at the figures that are given by Mr. Abramji and Tax Justice South Africa, it is clear that the price that the cigarettes are being sold at is in excess of what one would consider the minimum collectible tax, if one has to look at that as a guideline. So again, unless he provides us with evidence to look into this, I mean, at this point, there is nothing which suggests that this particular member has contravened the tax laws of this country.
All right, Tjsa, I'm going to thank you very much for your time and those responses. Of course, still leaving many questions there over this entire method of sale as well.